This is our second part of the Forever series, but you don't need to see the first part to get this one. Basically, Keisha and Justin were childhood friends who became high school sweethearts. Keisha is a Star Trek athlete and the top of her class. Justin isn't as smart, but he recently showed his skills in basketball while going up against Keisha's ex-boyfriend Christian. Unfortunately, Keisha's ex-Christian released their BJ video, and Keisha has felt shame and disappointment, not wanting to tell her mom Shelly. Shelly and the entire family really see Keisha being with Christian because of his basketball status. In turn, Keisha ends up going to prom with Christian, which pushes Justin over the edge, and Justin no longer wants anything to do with Keisha. The fifth episode opens in Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts during the summer of 2018, 3 months after prom. Keisha and Chloe arrive and are welcomed by Chloe's Aunt Kat, who loves salads and Ozempic. As they stop by a local shop, Keisha comments on the lack of black people around, trying to grab any chance of running into Justin and his family. It becomes clear Keisha isn't just on vacation. She's on a mission to bump into Justin because she knows he vacations here. Chloe reassures her they'll find him soon. After settling into the beach house, Chloe explains that Keisha needs to head to Oak Bluffs, where there's more spice, so they do, but no sign of Justin. The following day, Keisha and Chloe walk around Circuit Avenue and spot Jaden playing at the arcade. Jaden is Justin's younger brother. Dawn is also there and greets Keisha, but her demeanor is cold and distant. No longer the warm presence Keisha remembers. The encounter leaves Keisha disheartened. While Yu was trifling and playing games with her son. Meanwhile, Justin has been isolating himself in his vacation room. His mother, Dawn, tries to talk to him, but he responds with irritation. Later, Dawn shares with her husband, Eric, that Keisha is in town. Dawn even calls Keisha a heifer. She wants to keep this from Justin to protect him, but Eric believes it's healthy for him to confront his emotions. Meanwhile, Keisha makes a long trek to Oak Bluffs, first through bike, then bus. She follows basketball players hoping to find Justin, but doesn't find him and ends up crying on her way back. Justin, unaware, plays basketball with Eric, who pulls him aside to deliver the news about Keisha being in town. Justin looks stunned, like he's seen a ghost. Eric advises him to hear her out. He makes an amazing speech, y'all, that I can't really do justice. But basically to open your heart and let it be hurt, because that is what great love can be sometimes. As long as it's not struggle love, I'm down for that. Later, while biking with Shannon, Justin opens up about Keisha. They end up on the beach smoking, and Shannon makes a bold move, flashing him and asking him to be her first smash. Justin laughs it off, citing their almost cousin status, but after some banter, they kiss. Yo, leave the sweet home Alabama to the mayonnaise people. Jaden interrupts, asking Justin to take him to Circuit Avenue. At Circuit Avenue, Shannon explains how blocked callers go straight to voicemail. She proposes a deal. If Keisha left a message, they won't sleep together. If she didn't, they will. Justin checks and is surprised to find numerous messages from Keisha. He spends the night listening to them, many about Naruto, Justin's favorite anime. Shannon punching the air right now. The next morning, Keisha calls. They meet and embrace tightly, overcome with emotion. They spend the day together at the farm, finally making love. The first time, Justin had trouble finding the hole, but he has better aim now. Then they skinny dip at the beach. The next day, Justin's family heads to the beach, and Keisha arrives soon after with Chloe, Aunt Kat, and Michael. Dawn is visibly uneasy, and the family teases her about it because Dawn was always rooting for Justin to go after a black girl, and now she can't handle the heat. Just as the day seems perfect, they run into Joanne, a parent from their old school. She privately informs Dawn about a video scandal involving Keisha back at Brookwood. Dawn's expression hardens, looking like she about ready to whoop some ahs. In the next episode, it's their senior year. Justin is daydreaming about his intimate night with Keisha in the barn. At home, Justin is surprised with a brand new Jeep for graduation. May these rich parents adopt me. The family is thrilled and Dawn gets emotional over her son's milestone. Later, Dawn and Eric sit Justin down for a serious talk about his future, especially with Keisha. They bring up the leaked tape, but Justin defends Keisha fiercely, and they ultimately let it go for now. Meanwhile, Keisha learns about Justin's new Jeep and shares a sweet moment with her mom, Shelly, who just landed a higher-paying job. They celebrate together. After Eric and Jaden leave, Dawn presses Justin further about the tape. Upon learning that Shelly doesn't know about it, she insists Keisha must tell her. If not, she will. Dawn is now legitimately concerned about Keisha's mental health and says those white people at Keisha's old school always talking about it takes a village, but whenever it's a black child, they don't care. She gives Justin a deadline. Monday. Justin brings this up with Keisha, who panics and refuses. She doesn't want to destroy her mom's image of her. The two argue and Keisha hangs up. After school, Justin picks Keisha up and all the girls thinking, may this love attack me. He tries to help her rehearse how to tell Shelly. When the time comes, Keisha tearfully confesses to her mom. Shelly is devastated and puts blame on Keisha for letting Christian do that to her. let alone leave a school with a full ride scholarship. Now Shelley is forced to have 2 jobs just to afford her new school. Keisha wants to talk about it, but Shelley has had enough and says she has to go to work in order to pay for Keisha's mistakes. Justin brings Keisha to a hill with a view of the city. She confides that he feels like home, her calm space. He reassures her he'll always be there, and they share a moment before he drives her home. On the way home, Justin's tailed by a police car. Tension builds until the sirens flash, but the car simply passes. He breathes a sigh of relief, almost chocolate staining his pants. That night, Keisha texts Justin. Shelley arrives from work and coldly brushes off Keisha's greeting. Just before Keisha leaves for school, Shelley stops her and asks for the full story. Keisha explains everything, and Shelley is furious she was the last to know. Hurt, she vows to press charges, but Keisha defends Christian. Shelley says Christian needs to be punished, not Keisha, who had to leave a full ride scholarship and feel shame for the rest of her life. Keisha storms out since Shelley says she's going to do it regardless. At school, Keisha tells Justin her mom wants to take legal action. She plans to stay with her cousin Tiffany for a while. While getting her hair braided, loud beats from the studio next door prompt the hairdresser to ask Justin to quiet Rodney down. Instead, Justin bonds with him over producing music. Keisha sees this and wonders if Justin could be the next Kendrick. At home, Dawn checks in on Shelley by phone. They connect over motherhood and the difficulty of protecting their children. Dawn later pressures Justin to work on his college apps. She straight up says he's not smart enough and he need to use basketball to get him into a good college. She says he's a black male in America and he needs the best college in order to be considered for most jobs. Justin retreats to his room and writes his college essay about how his ADH is his superpower. Dawn is not impressed with it though, and is over her son's snark, so she just lets him make his own mistakes. The episode ends with Shelley visiting Tiffany's. She and Keisha make up, apologizing for their missteps. Shelley shares that she started therapy after Dawn's suggestion and likes it. The 7th episode opens with Keisha riding Justin's Jeep, before heading to dinner at Eric's restaurant to celebrate Keisha's acceptance into Howard University. Eric warmly welcomes them, and the couple is thrilled about their future. During dinner, Justin asks Keisha if they still plan to stay together in college. She says yes, but he admits he's secretly hoping not to get accepted in Northwestern in Chicago because it feels too far from her, and it's not aligned with his true passion. Music. Keisha shares her anxieties about her move to Howard, especially with her disruptive father, Quincy. She reflects on her childhood with him, how he got drafted, changed, and created tension in the family, especially with George. Later at Keisha's family celebration, Justin and Darius arrive and meet Quincy, who's already drinking. Quincy fixates on Justin, belittling his music ambitions and pressuring him to play it in front of everyone. Justin reluctantly plays a beat. Fortunately, the rest of the family enjoys it, but Quincy continues to criticize, saying, making beats isn't enough. He should be creating full songs. Okay, Quincy, you've been absent most of Keisha's life. Shush for a bit. George finally calls him out, and he backs off. On early decision day, Keisha texts Justin, hoping he doesn't get accepted to Northwestern. But when Justin opens the email, he learns he's in. Dawn is thrilled. Keisha arrives, pretending to be happy. But once they're alone, she questions him about abandoning the plan to reject Northwestern. Justin, however, sees his family's joy and insists he can't give up a future for uncertain dreams. Later, Keisha visits Chloe, who was just rejected from Stanford. They talk about their futures and momentarily forget about Justin. That night, Quincy sits with Keisha, saying Justin is talented but directionless. He says she needs to treat herself as a prize and focus on what's ahead. The next morning, Keisha wakes up to Christmas presents under the tree. Shelley gives her a trip to Jamaica. Meanwhile, Justin and Jaden open their gifts too. Eric gives a heartfelt message. Justin doesn't need any other gift. Being the first man on his side of the family to go to college is enough. He recalls how far they've come, from their great-grandfather picking cotton to this moment. Later, the Clarks join the Edwards for Christmas. Justin tells Keisha about being the first Edwards man to attend college. He then gets a message from Rodney requesting beats. Keisha gifts Justin a portable beat maker, and he gives her a golden infinity necklace. Crying, laughing, dying with my single self right now. While swimming, Keisha tells Justin about the Jamaica trip, which cuts into their time left together. After Dawn and Jaden leave, Justin tries to initiate intimacy again. Keisha becomes visibly uncomfortable because she knows Dawn has cameras everywhere and repeatedly asks him to stop. He doesn't listen right away, prompting her to pull away and confront him. She accuses him of being lost and using her as an emotional crutch. They argue and Keisha storms off. The episode ends here. The final episode begins on New Year's Eve 2019. Justin, still reeling from the fight with Keisha, is making beats when Darius shows up with fake IDs and convinces him to come to a party. Meanwhile, Keisha is already there with Chloe, reflecting on her rocky situation with Justin. Chloe reassures her that 2019 and 2020 will be kinder to them. Chloe, we're going to hold your hand while we tell you about COVID. Just before midnight, Justin and Darius arrive. Justin and Keisha lock eyes. No fireworks needed beyond their shared glance. Later that night, the two FaceTime, unpacking the party, their argument, and their entire relationship. Keisha says they've been through a lot and just want to enjoy the rest of senior year with him. They agree. No more drama, just joy. The following months are full of lightness. Holidays, celebrations, shared memories, and Instagram posts. By prom night, everyone's having the time of their lives at the Santa Monica Pier. After the party, Justin randomly suggests going to Howard with Keisha. She's visibly unsettled but doesn't immediately confront him. At the hotel, Keisha stays quiet. Justin brings up the Howard idea again and quickly backpedals, saying he won't go if she doesn't want him to. Keisha, tired of his indecisiveness, seems done with the discussion. The next morning, Justin is abruptly awakened by Eric for a Northwestern event with Dawn. On the drive there, he checks in with Keisha, who says they're okay, but she leaves a voice message later admitting she's conflicted about their future apart. At the event, Justin meets Dean Schwartz from Northwestern, but when asked questions, Dawn jumps in to answer them, leaving Justin feeling stifled and voiceless. Later that night, Keisha comes over to talk. Justin vents about Dawn steering his future, saying his clinginess comes from confusion. Keisha assures him she doesn't want him to follow her to Howard if it's not what he truly wants. As they reflect on their year together, Justin starts speaking as if they're breaking up. Keisha is hurt. She believes love shouldn't be something you leave to level up. But Justin thinks it's the best way forward. They say their emotional goodbyes, and as Keisha walks away, Justin breaks down in tears. At dinner later, Dawn celebrates Eric's restaurant expansion, but Justin drops a bomb. He doesn't want to go to Northwestern. He only applied for his parents. He wants to be the next Drake. Dawn is silent and leaves the table. Graduation day comes. Keisha gives her salutatorian speech, thanking the community that helped her heal and become the woman she is today. Justin graduates too, although he doesn't seem as happy until Rodney texts him. He heads to Rodney's studio right after and works. 2 months later, Justin and Keisha run into each other. He reveals he's not going to Chicago, he's working at CVS and producing on the side. Keisha is genuinely proud. He asks her to dinner to properly say goodbye. At the ramen shop, Justin gives her a thoughtful graduation gift, the bag she once wanted on their first date. He thanks her for helping him rediscover music and realign with his purpose. He even sold a song to Rodney. They say goodbye for good, going their own separate ways. And that's the end of the series. The two don't end up together, but I believe the series was about the love they had helped each other get through tough moments in their high school lives. It's about Black families coming together and helping raise Black teens because it really does take a village. It was quite a sweet movie, although ending a bit bittersweet. What did you guys think of this one? Is it still considered Black struggle love?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.